Hello, good afternoon. This is the Midday News. The news is live on Joy 99.7 in Accra, Love 99.5 in Kumasi. Affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Bedouin FM, Bunkpurugu, Sun City Radio, Keta, Volta Premier Ho, ATL FM Cape Coast, Radio Max Takrade, and Rage 104.9 FM in Tamale. We are live on Facebook live stream and my Joy Online interactive app. The Midday News is sponsored by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity. Petrosol, always a delightful experience, and Duraplus Ghana Limited, producers of quality PVC pipes and water tank. Where Duraplus goes, water flows. Coming up, Electricity Company of Ghana undertakes massive disconnection exercise to recover 5.7 billion debt in unpaid bills.
A chunk of it is in industries, Ghanaian industries, private due to financial constraints, but you cannot continue sitting down when you're owed 5.7 billion. And it's also the fact that some people do not prioritize the payment of electricity bills.
More as the Energy Ministry already falls victim to the exercise, ECG management insists no amount of intervention will stop them from disconnecting defaulting customers.
Truth be told, there are going to be a lot of disconnections. I have a feeling some people may try to leverage on one thing or the other. Please, let's stop these phone calls to places or to people to try and intervene.
We'll be live in Parliament where a disconnection team is over a 30 million CD debt owed ECG. Also in this package, rescue efforts still ongoing at Adan East as NADMO dispatches team to provide relief items following the death of at least 5 persons in a boat accident.
We came for a funeral at our youth organization. Then the boat we were on board capsized. This happened close to the estuary. People are stuck in the water. We need help.
Also, police begin investigations into allegations by former Environment Minister that big wigs of the governing NPP and persons at the Jubilee House are involved in illegal mining. We've got details and in sports.
GFA unveils Chris Hilton as Ghana coach until December 2024. We'll hear his first words as well as his target as the head coach.
What we want to see a winning team. Because there can be and there will be lots of questions on a style of football, players that play, why is this player not playing and why is this player playing? Are you too defensive? Are you too offensive?
And Vice President directs the reopening of the KJTR market for business tomorrow despite earlier directive from management to close it for another week to assess firefighting control systems and structural integrity.
Because we have our competitors around the KJTR. If you keep us long waiting in home, it means you destroy our business. So we don't agree with them to close for a long.
Details of these and more here on the Midday News with me, Bernice Abu-Baidoo Lansah. Thanks for choosing us. Joy News, independent, fearless and credible. It's a pleasure to have you here. The details now. Pay up or get disconnected. That's the message from the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, to defaulting companies, private and public customers as it undertakes an ambitious program to recover 5.7 billion cedis owed by its customers. Private manufacturing industries and mining firms are the highest debtors, followed by some government institutions. Indeed, the Energy Ministry, which has a supervisory role over ECG, had power supply disconnected last Friday over unpaid bills. Managing Director of the company, Samuel Mahama, says the Energy Ministry has entered into a deal to resolve its indebtedness.
I don't want the issue of 5.7 billion in debt to be overcrowded by my issue with my mother ministry. There was a conversation, there was an understanding, matter solved. Let's move forward. Let's look at the pluses from that and the fact that dialogues were had and the problems were solved. And let's look at the fact that if they and us had to sit down to solve a problem, that means everybody is touchable. So that's where we need to start it from. I must say, I really, really appreciate the Energy Minister because he's quite passionate and he's quite eager for us to close the gap. He's actually going to join on this exercise. But whatever it is, problem solved.
Okay.
Marching forward, 5.7 billion to be collected.
So they pay their bill.
I must say, this time around, state agencies have been very good, with the exception of a few.
First of all, who owes this money?
A chunk of it is in industries. A chunk of it is industry, Ghanaian industries. Private due to financial constraints. But you cannot continue sitting down when you're owed 5.7 billion, which is equivalent of about almost $500 million. And you keep singing, we don't have. And it's also the fact that some people do not prioritize the payment of electricity bills. Look, if you take 10 ECG customers, 5 will be prepaid, 5 will be postpaid. Out of the 5 postpaid, 3 of them are paying, 2 are not. When you take the prepaid, all are paying, but 3 of them are doing illegal connections.
Well, today ECG is undertaking mapping of the areas to concentrate on for the exercise to start. Speaking on the Super Morning Show, Mr. Samuel Mahama was emphatic no amount of intervention will get them to stop the exercise.
No ECG staff, I repeat, no ECG staff is mandated to collect cash. This is a cashless exercise because of the new platform that we have. They are well equipped to generate a pay-in slip for you to go to the nearest bank and pay. They are well equipped to generate your payment all the way for you to receive a notification to pay by Momo, Vodafone Cash, whatever. If you want to pay by bank card, they are well equipped to give you that option. No ECG staff is to collect cash. We've had rumors of people calling people and telling them, look, ECG as a company has suffered. People have registered Momo numbers under the name ECG Cash Payment Point and taking money from unsuspecting Ghanaians. Please, if it is not an approved ECG collection point, we also know people who try to take advantage of this exercise. So the dial *226#, follow the prompts and verify the ECG staff who came or who has come to your house. Truth be told, there are going to be a lot of disconnections. I know, because I have a feeling some people may try to leverage on one thing or the other. My plea out there is, please, let's stop these phone calls to places or to people to try and intervene. Because this time around, my fear is that it may end up looking like somebody is being recalcitrant or somebody doesn't respect. You know you have consumed. Let's not do this to our own company.
You heard the Managing Director of the Electricity Company of Ghana, Samuel Mahama. And let's head to Parliament now. A disconnection team is there because the House owes over 13 million cedis. My colleague James Aveju is there for us. Hello, James. What have you been able to gather so far?
Right. So we are currently at the Parliament House, and there's a meeting between the ECG team, and the workers here in Parliament who were here to that the ECG team came to meet. So, as you said earlier, we are told that the Parliament is owing about some 13 million Ghana cedis from the conversations. It looks like Parliament is offering to pay some 1 million cedis upfront to prevent the disconnection, but the ECG would not have none of that, leading to the meeting, a crunch meeting between the two parties to arrive at a consensus on how much they will be paying, or if the Parliament will come out with a payment plan that would entice the ECG to leave. And so that meeting is currently ongoing. When they are done, we'll know the details from that.
We'll leave it here, James, but still on this issue, the external communications manager for ECG, Leila Abubakar, says the company is not able to undertake full reconciliation with customers because the customer management system was hacked last year, and this, she says, makes it difficult to accept complaints.
Our customer management system was hacked last year. We're working on it. Sometimes it's a challenge to get the information outrightly, but there are people who have been given the clearance to go deeper into the system. The customer service agent sometimes doesn't have the clearance to go in as much. There are layers to it now. So if the customer service person is not able to, they'll take down your details and they'll forward it to the team in the back room.
Abubakar is External Communications Manager for ECG. Away from that story, a search party is wrapping up efforts towards finding possible survivors at Ada East following a boat disaster that resulted in the death of 5 persons so far. NADMO has dispatched a team from its headquarters to help with search operations and assist victims with relief items. The accident occurred when the affected persons were traveling from Azizanya to Azizakbe for a funeral. It's unclear, though, how many people were on the boat, but at least 5 bodies have been retrieved. Listen to some eyewitnesses.
I am Rosemary. We came for a funeral. Ada Youth Organization. Then the boat we were on board capsized. This happened close to the estuary. People are stuck in the water. We need help. There was a strong wind that caused this. Please help us. Some of them are with their children. Some are alone. They all fell into the water.
You heard a lady recounting what happened exactly. We are joined this afternoon by the Director of Communications of NADMO, George Ayisi. Good afternoon to you, sir. What has NADMO gathered so far about this incident?
Yeah, good afternoon, my sister. Yes, our district director has brought a report, and his details was what you have about. We've lost about 5 people, young kids and 2 adults. And, the police, the Navy, and the Assembly, and NADMO, of course, have gone to the place. We are all aware that the owner of the boat has been arrested for overloading the boat. It has a capacity of between 40 to 45. And from the reports, they've loaded over 90 to 95. We understand passengers cautioned the owners that, look, this is overloaded, but they didn't pay heed, and then they went on their journey. Unfortunately, we have this. So far, yes, we've report that people were rescued. Some were taken to clinics to be treated and then discharged. Others, upon when they are rescued, they move to their communities. They are from different communities in the area, so they've gone home and others. So that is the situation as of now.
Are you still hoping to find survivors, or you've been able to reconcile the numbers?
Yeah, they've not abandoned search yet. I understand the search is actually ongoing, hoping that whether they will still find survivors. But from the report so far, it's like those who were in the water were rescued, apart from the 5 that lost their lives, almost everybody. But they are still doing the search because there were a lot of children on board the boat. That's what the report is saying. So maybe by close of today, or tomorrow, before they will then decide that we've finished with the search. But search is still ongoing for survivors.
Finally, sir, your earlier response suggests your preliminary investigations are pointing to negligence and not necessarily bad weather, as we've been told by some people. Is that the case?
I think for my submission earlier, if a boat has a capacity of 45, 40, and you load over 90, 95, definitely you are being reckless and irresponsible. And so definitely that will be part. And the wind and the stormy nature of the water may be a contributing factor. But because you were negligent and wasn't responsible from the get-go, definitely we can take that out of whatever natural event that occurs and brings this situation about.
Thanks for joining us this afternoon. You heard George Ayisi, Director of Communications of NADMO. Now, let's head to Driampompo in the Drabi municipality of the Ashanti region. The Kumasi-Accra road there has been blocked as emergency service providers respond to remove a gas tanker that was involved in an accident. Now, it has taken the emergency service providers 9 days to respond to this after residents were forced to evacuate. And this intervention comes 2 days after Joy News reported the plight of residents on the disaster in waiting.
Yebetuma soja anu aduane edi de osolo koda fom no eno bebe fie na ne nyinaa aseda nka otwedi ampon na mfa so menka multimedia mo na mabodwe pompo kuro pa ni kase pa ejina momo so senyamo a kane ni kamafo bia obeka bia maye.
You heard a resident there of Diampompo in the Drabi municipality of the Ashanti region basically appreciating the multimedia group and God for this intervention. She says now they'll be able to light their flames and those who are sleeping on the farms can come home. Let's go live to the grounds now. My colleague Oheming Teria joins us with details. Oheming, what exactly is happening now? Has the tanker been finally removed?
Yes, Bernice, and now the road has been cleared for motorists who hitherto had been stopped on the main Kumasi-Accra road. They spent several hours here as emergency service providers, being Ghana National Fire Service, NADMO, the ambulance service, the police service, all came together to support today's exercise. And I must say, it's been a hectic one. For the Korongo Municipal Fire Commander, Richard Aweso, he described the exercise as high-risk exercise, having put men on alert and also to ensure they provide the necessary fire cover to ensure in the event of explosion, everybody will be saved.
Initially, our operational strategy was to discharge the content into a new tank or tanker. However, we had some challenges because some power generation issues, so that delayed us a bit. So eventually we had to look for a crane with a higher capacity that will be able to lift the content whilst we provide the fire cover. So that's what we've been doing for the past 3 days. Normally, operation of the sort, we need space to work. And we are also looking at the general safety, especially the public. And when they are in the inner cordon, normally becomes a problem for us to be able to operate efficiently. We'd have to do traffic control. So the police assisted us in that direction.
Richard Anwinso is Konongo Fire Commander. Let's stay in the Ashanti region but head to the capital now. Vice President Dr. Baumia has just announced the KJTR market will be reopened tomorrow. Now, the market was closed after fire ravaged over 30 shops. And earlier, you may have heard during the 6 a.m. news that Deputy Local Government Minister Obi Amwa said they needed an extra week to assess the facility and also check on its structural integrity.
So the Minister for Local Government Decentralization and Rural Development reserves the right to set up a committee. And as soon as possible, he sets it up. They will depend on the fact-finding issues and the recommendations of the committee to be able to go on as to how to prevent such a situation again, and especially to make sure that the new one which is being built will not go through this process.
You heard Deputy Local Government Minister Obi Amwa. Well, the Vice President is at the market scene and he's received a preliminary report from the fire service and has recommended the reopening of the market. My colleague Nana Boache Dankwayi Adam is there and joins us live. Hello, Nana Boache. Just tell us exactly what took the Vice President there and the exact details he was furnished with led to this directive.
Well, Bernice, the management of the KJTR market after last Wednesday's fire outbreak met the Vice President and then the regional minister, the Kumasi mayor. They had a meeting at the office of the regional minister. They reached a consensus, and that was to reopen the market tomorrow for trading. The Vice President had a report from the Ghana Fire Service, which earlier indicated that the outbreak was to a trader who was cooking inside a shop and led to an explosion. So the Vice President, upon receiving that report, says the fire service is going to continue their investigation. But on the other hand, the market will be reopened for trading, God willing, tomorrow. So as we speak, traders are expected to return to the KJTR market tomorrow for trading.
Well, Nana, before you go, we know that the traders had earlier complained about this week-long closure. Or definitely they will be excited by this new directive. But what about management? They wanted this extension. How are they reacting to this?
Well, traders received the announcement with so much joy. We know they thought it would take several weeks for the market to be open. So they are happy with the new directive. But the president of the Traders Association is also saying that what led to the outbreak last Wednesday is what they have to step their grounds on to prevent it from happening again. So they are going to put in measures to prevent that inferno from happening again. So we spoke to Nana Kwesi, who is the president of the Traders Association. Let's listen to him.
We are very much grateful to the government, especially the vice president who made that pronouncement, because even for the last 4 days, our majority of our people were complaining of hardship. So it's good news to the traders, and we are happy to the government. Leadership of the traders union have to join forces with the management to ensure that the do's and don'ts within the market are adhered to. And after this, we are also going to embark on a massive education among our members that things that are not warranted in the market, we are not going to tolerate them.
You had President of the Traders Association at the KGT market, Nana Kwesi Prempeh. You're listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM with me, Bernice Abu-Baidoo Lansah. Now, our top story: Electricity Company of Ghana undertakes massive disconnection exercise to recover 5.7 billion CD debt in unpaid bills. We'll be bringing you more shortly. Do stay.
Imagine say water wake up at dawn. You know buff, you know chop. Where it vanish for your area for 2 weeks. You not get one drop safe inside your tank.
Hey.
Hajia, our life was in dangerous. Only our neighbor get water with water tank.
Water tank?
Yes, water tank. Mamma mia, that water tank get meter for checking water level. That water tank be fine past Kumasi Selenium. That water tank be tough like Ghana Army. That water tank, they carry water pepe. So say some no go left inside the supply tank. What a tank! As my boss, Mr. Poncho, go talk.
Beautiful, durable, with water level indicator and accurate volume of water. Water tank. What a tank! By Duraplast.
Keys. What could be simpler than a key? Who doesn't have a key? A car key, an office key, a drawer key. But there's one key that rules them all. The house key. The key to a place we call home. The key to the home where everything comes together. The key to a home that is our own. A home where we make life happen with our families and loved ones. Adoha has been working hard for over 30 years to make home ownership within reach for many. Say yes to property with Adoha. Your dream home is one call away. Your dream home is a few clicks away. Visit our Accra project, The Place, by calling 030-2789-757.
Thank you so much for staying here on the Midday News with me, Bernice Abu-Baidoo Lansah. It's now time for sports, and Mubarak, finally Chris Houghton has been unveiled as our Black Stars coach.
Until December 2024. So we are hoping to see what he can do in his tenure. But he has been speaking, and first of all, he's delighted to be handed the role.
To represent Ghana and the Black Stars as the head coach is something that I'm incredibly proud of. It's something that I will give everything to make the team as successful as possible. It's something that I will do to make sure that the communication and the relationship that I have with this association, for those around the association, and of course the supporters, to give all of my best. So it's something that I'm hugely looking forward to. Our game is about support, mostly the support from the huge array of fans that we have, and that starts with obviously a very difficult game at Kumasi on Thursday.
Well, he hopes to count on the support of Ghanaians ahead of the game against Angola this coming Thursday in the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations. He does not only want to qualify for the AFCON, but actually he's eyeing the trophy.
What is success for us is to do and put ourselves in the best possible position to do as well as we can in an AFCON competition. And this means going to an AFCON final and performing the best that we can and putting ourselves in the best position to win it.
So Chris, at the very least, eyeing a final in next year's Africa Cup of Nations.
We've got our fingers crossed. Let's see what happens on Thursday. To some other stories now. The Special Investigations Unit of the Ghana Police Service has commenced investigations into allegations by former Environment Minister Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng that some officials at the Jubilee House are involved in illegal mining. The minority in Parliament waded into the matter, demanding investigations. Joy News understands the presidency referred the matter to the police and a formal probe has commenced. Listen to Professor Boateng make these allegations allegations in an interview on state broadcaster GTV.
There was an orchestrated scheme, even within the party and government.
To get you out.
To get you out. So that, look, why is it when I left, now everybody is in the forest? At that time, you dare not enter the forest, you know. But as I said, I don't want to go into details now because I have a lot to say on that. But let me tell you that I did not take one excavator for anything. And they know the truth. Now, things are coming up. You know those who are behind it and the party people who are there, people in government, including Jubilee House, who are doing Galamsey and so on, even now. So let Frimpong Boateng stay in his corner and enjoy his retirement.
You heard the former Environment Minister, Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng. My colleague Joseph Akable joins me in studio with more. Joseph, what more are we learning about the investigations?
So we understand it has started. The aim of the police is to understand from Professor Frimpong Boateng which individuals, that is if he has information, are engaged in this activity, and also to follow through its investigations to determine whether there's a matter that can be taken to the court since he alleges that they are engaged in illegal mining.
And there's a former presidential staffer, Joseph, who is being investigated by the special prosecutor for his involvement in Galamsey allegedly. What's the latest on that?
That matter is actually in court. Charles BCU versus the special prosecutor. He's seeking to stop the special prosecutor from carrying out with an investigation or prosecuting him, because we understand the investigation has concluded, and he says that the evidence to be used against him is a report put together by investigative journalist Anas Rabi Anas, which he believes is contrary to law, and if he's going to be investigated and prosecuted, then Anas should also be investigated and prosecuted as well. The matter is back in court on 17th of April.
Thanks, Joseph. Now, government is preparing itself for what it says will be a make or break week as Ghana races against time to secure the much needed IMF board agreement. It's hoping Parliament will also approve 3 key revenue bills. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has departed the country to attend 2 crucial meetings. The first one is in China. The second will be with the Paris Club as part of Ghana's external debt restructuring plan. Government hopes to clinch the deal before the end of this month, and these meetings will be very crucial. My colleague Kweku Asante joins me in studio with details of the finance minister's itinerary and what is expected to happen in Parliament. Kweku, give us details of these 2 meetings.
So the finance minister, we understand, left the country yesterday. He is going to meet China as part of Ghana's debt forgiveness plans. After that meeting, he will also be meeting with the Paris Club on Tuesday to understand what they also want to help in terms of the debt forgiveness and the debt restructuring plan. So first with China, and then on Tuesday with the Paris Club.
Kweku, the minority in Parliament is also concerned that government will not be able to secure the deal by the end of March.
Indeed, during the debate on the State of the Nation address, the minority leader said that it is clearly not possible for government to get that deal. But what we know is that Thursday has now been declared by Parliament to consider some 3 key revenue bills which are currently before the House. Government has signaled that those are crucial for government to get the IMF deal. But from all indications, it may not be possible to get that March deadline through, as the minority leader has said.
Thank you very much, parliamentary correspondent Kweku Asante there. And before we go, our special Ghana Month series. Are people from northern Ghana strong and resilient as others believe because of a certain special bath they receive at birth? Well, we know there's a combination of herbs, bones and other elements that are used to bath children in that part of the country. It is believed it will make them strong, healthy and protected spiritually. Well, Martina Bugri has more.
Culture, they say, is unique to each region, tribe or group of people. These beliefs transcend generations and are held dearly by the people. In Dabon, beyond the normal bathing of children with water and soap at birth, they also bath their newborns with herbs, which they believe keeps them strong and healthy. Let's listen to Mr. Alhassan Abubakar. He explains how it is done.
One is for spiritual reasons, so that the child grows up to be more spiritual, so that the child will be prepared against all these 6 killer diseases, the measles and the other diseases.
Does it work?
Exactly. Very, very well. Even as highly educated as I am, I still believe that it works very, very well. And we have all done it all right.
Abubakar Rafia Napari also gives reasons why shea butter is added to the bath.
Shea butter makes the child body to be smooth. So for that matter, that is why they always use the shea butter to wear the body for a smooth body and to give the child a warm temperature for comfortable movement.
Martina Bugri with that report. And the Omwada hitmaker Medical has surprised fans by teaming up with his ex-girlfriend, Sister Debbie, on his latest single, Cold and Trophies. The award-winning musician says Sister Debbie was the perfect vocalist for the track.
You were in the news recently with Sister Deborah. How did that happen? That feature?
I mean, I think it's because we recorded a song together and then we shot a video and we dropped it. Yeah,
Prior to that, what was your relationship?
Oh, I mean, we know the of course we know the vibe like and all, but I just reached out to her that I just recorded this song and then I think I hear you on the song. You know, sometimes when you record a song and you're like, yo, this song I feel like Medical will go spot it, or maybe this person will go spot it. So yeah, it was just a very
So when you reached out to her, how did she feel?
Oh, I mean, I think she was surprised that I wanted a verse from her and I called.
So it was your song?
Yeah, it was my song actually. Yeah.
But why her?
Because in style, no, they fit the song. In style, they fit the song.
Coffee.
Musician Medical. And in this edition of the Midday News on Joy 99.7 FM, our top story, Electricity Company of Ghana undertakes massive disconnection exercise to recover 5.7 billion cedi debt in unpaid bills. They're currently in Parliament over some 13 million cedis the House owes. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com, including Nigerian actress Funke Akindele loses election, deletes all politics-related posts from Instagram account. I'm Bernice Abu-Baidoo Lansah. I appreciate your company. Kindly stay with us.